We are looking at acids, bases, and salts. 1. Acids are compounds which, when dissolved in water, produces hydrozonium ion as the only positive ion. That's an illustrative example. They are organic and inorganic acids. 2. Bases are oxides or hydroxide of metals. You can as well say they are compounds that react with acids to form salt and water only. 3. Salts are compound forms when the replaceable hydrogen ion of an acid has been replaced by a metallic or an ammonium ion. In short, there are different types of salts. But for now, let's just consider sodium chloride, calcium trihydrocarbonate 4, so on and so forth. Example 1. Which of the following is not a mineral acid? The options are A. Hydrochloric acid, B. Triazole 5 acid, C. Triazole carbonate 4 acid, and D. Tetraazole sulfate 6 acid. The correct option is C. Let's look at each and every one of them. Mineral acids are strong acids. These are acids that ionize completely in water. Now, hydrochloric acid ionizes completely. Triazole 5 acid ionizes completely. But triazole carbonate 4 acid ionizes partially. While tetraazole 6 acid also ionizes completely. So the only acid that is not a mineral acid which does not ionize completely in water is triazole carbonate 4 acid, and consequently the correct option is C. Example 2. A student prepares 0.5 molar solution each of hydrochloric acid and CH3COO, that is ethanoic acid, and then measured their pH. The results will show that the options A. pH value are equal, B. HCl solution has a higher pH, C. Sum of their pH value is 14, D. Ethanoic acid has a higher pH. Let's consider each of them and pick out the correct option. A. pH values are equal. The pH values are not equal. Hydrochloric acid is a strong acid, while ethanoic acid is a weak acid. We don't expect the pH values to be equal. B. Hydrochloric acid solution has a higher pH. No. Hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. The stronger the acid, the lower the pH. So B is not. C. Sum of their pH value is 14. It's not true. They have different pH values, but their sum may not necessarily be 14. D. Ethanoic acid has a higher pH. Yes, ethanoic acid is a weak acid. The weaker the acid, the higher the pH value. Consequently, the correct option is B. Let's consider example 3. Which of the following is not an alkali? Options. A. Sodium hydroxide, B. Magnesium hydroxide, C. Calcium hydroxide, and D. Potassium hydroxide. Let's consider each of these options. A. Sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is an alkali because alkalis are soluble bases. B. Magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide is not a soluble base, and so it is not an alkali. It does not dissolve in water. C. Calcium hydroxide. Well, calcium hydroxide is a soluble base, and this is slightly soluble. It's an alkali. D. Potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide is also a soluble base. It is an alkali. The only option that is not an alkali, that it is not a soluble base, is magnesium hydroxide. And consequently, the correct answer is B. Example 4. Which of these salts will produce its metal, oxygen, and nitrogen 4 oxide on heating? The options are A. Silver triazole 5, B. Sodium triazole 5, C. Calcium triazole 5, and D. Lithium triazole 5. Let's consider the options one after the other. A. Silver triazole 5. When silver triazole 5 is heated, it gives rise to silver, nitrogen 4 oxide, and oxygen, because silver is a heavy metal. B. Sodium triazole 5. When heated, it gives rise to sodium diazole 3 and produces oxygen. C. When calcium triazole 5 is heated, it gives rise to calcium oxide, nitrogen 4 oxide, and oxygen. D. When lithium triazole 5 is heated, it gives rise to lithium diazole 3 and liberated oxygen. And consequently, the only triazole 5, when heated, gives rise to the metal itself is that of silver. Consequently, the correct option is A. Let's consider the fourth illustrative example. Which of the following is a property of ionic chloride? The options. A. They can be decomposed. B. They react with aqueous silver triazole 5 to give a white precipitate which is soluble in excess ammonia. C. They explode when in contact with dry ammonia gas. D. They react with concentrated tetraoxide 6 acid to give white fumes of chlorine gas. Let's consider the option one after the other and pick on the correct one. A. They can be decomposed by heat. Some chlorides are not normally decomposed by heat, and so that option is wrong. B. They react with aqueous silver triazole 5 to give a white precipitate which is soluble in excess ammonia. This is the correct option. All chlorides obey this, so it is the test for chlorides. C. They explode when in contact with dry ammonia gas. There's nothing like that. D. They react with concentrated tetraoxide 6 acid to give white fumes of chlorine gas. No, they really give white fumes of hydrochloric acid gas. So that option is wrong. So consequently, the only correct option is B. Example 5. Which of the following compound is a base? A. Carbon 4 oxide. B. Calcium oxide. C. Triazo phosphate 3 acid. D. Methyl ethanoate. Let's take the options one after the other. A. Carbon 4 oxide. Carbon 4 oxide is not a base. It is an acid anhydride. That is, it's an oxide of a non-metal which, when dissolved in water, forms an acid. B. Calcium oxide. Calcium oxide is a base because it is an oxide of a metal. C. Triazo phosphate 3 acid. This is an acid. An acid cannot be a base. D. Methyl ethanoate. Methyl ethanoate is an alkanoate, a compound formed when an alkanoic acid reacts with an alkanol. So the only correct option is calcium oxide. B. Example 6. Sulfur 6 oxide is not directly dissolved in water in the preparation of tetraoxide 6 acid by the contact process, because the options: A. The reaction between sulfur 6 oxide and water is violently exothermic. B. Acid is usually added to water and never water to acid. C. Sulfur 6 oxide does not dissolve in water easily. D. Sulfur 6 oxide is an acid gas. Now let us consider them one after the other and pick the correct option. A. The reaction between sulfur 6 oxide and water is violently exothermic. This is the correct option. For that reason, we do not dissolve sulfur 6 oxide in water because it will be injurious, it's violent. B. Acid is usually added to water and never water to acid. That is not well, that is true, but it does not account for why sulfur 6 oxide will not be dissolved in water. C. Sulfur 6 oxide does not dissolve in water easily. Well, it dissolves in water to give some thin fumes of the acid, but that does not account for why sulfur 6 oxide is not directly dissolved in water during preparation of the acid. The sulfur 6 oxide is an acid gas, that is true, but when you dissolve it in water, it only gives some thin fumes of the acid. And so the correct option is A. The reaction between sulfur 6 oxide and water is violently exothermic. The correct option is A.